The cargo ship shook hard. Red lights flashed everywhere. Alarms screamed so loud that Tay could barely hear himself think. "Hull breach in Sector 4, the computer voice said calmly. "Impact in 30 seconds. Tay grabbed the control stick with both hands. His knuckles turned white. Through the cracked window, he could see the green and brown planet rushing toward him. It was getting bigger every second. He was not supposed to be here. He was just a cargo pilot. He moved boxes from one space station to another. Simple work. Safe work. But then, the pirates came. They shot his ship and left him to die in the empty space between stars. Somehow, his damaged ship had drifted into this system. Somehow, gravity had caught him. Now he was falling toward a planet he did not know. "Come on," Tay said through his teeth. "Just a little more." He pulled the stick back. The ship groaned like a wounded animal. Smoke filled the cockpit. He could feel the heat through the metal walls. The trees came fast, too fast. The ship hit the ground hard. Tay flew forward. His head hit something. Then everything went black. When Tay opened his eyes, the first thing he felt was pain. His whole body hurt. His head hurt the most. He touched his forehead and found blood on his fingers. He was still in his seat. The safety straps had saved his life. Outside the broken window, he could see thick jungle, strange trees with purple leaves, vines hanging down like ropes. The air coming in smelled wet and heavy. Tay unbuckled his straps and stood up slowly. His legs were weak. He checked himself for serious injuries. Some cuts, some bruises, maybe a cracked rib. But he could walk. He could survive. The ship was finished. Smoke poured from the engines. Sparks flew from broken wires. He had maybe a few hours before the whole thing caught fire or exploded. Tay grabbed his small bag. Inside was some food, water, a knife, and a medical kit. Not much, but it would have to do. He climbed out through a hole in the ship's side. The jungle surrounded him. It was hot here. Very hot. Insects buzzed around his head. Strange sounds came from deep in the trees. This planet was alive. And Tay did not know what lived here. He started walking. He needed to find shelter. Maybe high ground where he could see better. Maybe a cave where he could hide. After an hour of pushing through thick plants and climbing over fallen trees, Tay stopped. He heard something. Not an animal sound. Not an insect. Something mechanical. He followed the sound carefully. His knife was in his hand. He pushed aside some big leaves and stopped breathing. There was another ship. Smaller than his. An escape pod. It had crashed here too. Probably not long ago. The metal was still hot. Smoke rose from one side. Tay walked closer. The pod was from a fancy ship. Very expensive. The design was alien. Not human. He had seen ships like this before, in space stations where important people came and went. The door of the pod was bent but open. Tay looked inside. His heart stopped. A child was inside. An alien child. She looked almost human, but her skin had a soft blue color. Her hair was silver like moonlight. She was small, maybe 7 or 8 years old by human standards, and she was hurt. Blue blood covered her arm. Her eyes were closed. She was breathing, but just barely. Tay did not think. He just moved. He climbed into the pod and knelt beside her. He opened his medical kit and started to work. The wound on her arm was deep. He cleaned it with water. He wrapped it tight with bandages. The child's eyes opened. They were gold, like 2 small suns. She looked at Tay with fear. "It is okay," Tay said softly. "I will not hurt you. I am trying to help." She did not understand his words, but she seemed to understand his voice. She stopped trying to move away from him. "You are safe," Tay said. "I promise." He finished wrapping her wound. Then he noticed something around her neck. A necklace. It was made of strange metal with jewels that glowed with inner light. This was not a simple necklace. This was something royal. Tay looked at the child again. At her fine clothes, torn and dirty now. At the expensive escape pod. At the necklace that probably cost more than everything Tay would ever own. "Who are you?" he whispered. The child said something in her language. Tay did not understand the words, but one word sounded like a name. "Nira. Nira," Tay repeated. "Is that your name?" The child nodded. Then she spoke again. This time, she pointed at herself and said more words. Tay caught something that sounded like another title. Princess. Tay sat back. A princess. He had found an alien princess in a crashed escape pod on a jungle planet. This was very bad. If she was a princess, then people were looking for her. Important people. Powerful people. But other people might be looking too. Bad people. The people who made her escape pod crash in the first place. As if answering his thoughts, Tay heard sounds in the distance. Engines. Ships. More than one. He looked up at the sky through the gap in the trees. He saw dark shapes flying. Military ships, but not the pretty, expensive kind like the escape pod. These were rough. Dangerous. Raider ships. The princess heard them too. Her golden eyes went wide with terror. She grabbed Tay's arm with her small hand. "Bad," she said in broken common tongue. "Bad people." Tay understood. Someone had attacked her ship. Someone had tried to kill a child. And now they were coming to finish the job. He should run. He should hide. This was not his problem. He was just a cargo pilot. He had no weapons, no armor, no way to fight raiders. But the child was looking at him. Her golden eyes were full of tears and fear. She was hurt and alone and far from home. She was just a child. Tay made his choice. "Come with me," he said. He picked up the small princess carefully. She weighed almost nothing. "I will keep you safe." He did not know how. He did not know if he could. But he would try. He would try. Until his last breath. Tay ran into the jungle. The princess held on to him with her small arms around his neck. Behind them, the raider ships were landing. Soon, the hunters would begin their search. Tay had no plan. He had no help coming. He had nothing but his 2 hands and his promise to a scared little girl. It would have to be enough. The jungle was trying to kill them. Tay was sure of it now. Every step was a fight. Thick vines grabbed at his legs. Sharp plants cut his arms. The ground was soft and wet, and his boots sank deep with every step. He was carrying Nira on his back, and his muscles were screaming, but he kept moving. He had no choice. Behind them, somewhere in the green darkness, the raiders were hunting. Tay could hear them sometimes. Shouting voices. The crack of branches breaking. They were getting closer. "Are you okay?" Tay asked the princess. Nira nodded against his shoulder. She had not spoken much since they started running. Her wounded arm was pressed against his chest. The bandage was turning dark with blood. "We need to stop soon," Tay said. "I need to check your arm." But there was nowhere to stop. The jungle went on forever. And the hunters never rested. Tay climbed over a fallen tree. On the other side, he found a small stream. The water was clear and cold. He knelt down and let Nira slide off his back. "Drink," he said, cupping water in his hands for her. She drank. Then Tay drank too. The water was good. Clean. It gave him a little strength. He unwrapped Nira's bandage carefully. The wound was not good. It was red and swollen. Infection was starting. Without proper medicine, it would get worse. "This might hurt," Tay said. He poured water on the wound. Nira made a small sound of pain but did not cry. She was brave. This little princess. Braver than many adults Tay had known. He wrapped the wound again with fresh bandages. It was the last of his supply. "Your mother," Tay said slowly, pointing up at the sky. "Queen? She is coming for you?" Nira's golden eyes looked up. She nodded slowly. Tay understood. Help was coming. but it would take time. Time they might not have. A sound made them both freeze. Voices. Close. Too close. Tay grabbed Nira and pushed her down behind some large rocks. He put his finger to his lips. She understood and went completely still. Through the leaves, Tay could see them. 3 raiders. They were big aliens with gray skin and 4 arms each. They carried weapons that hummed with energy. Their eyes scanned the jungle. "The human went this way," one said. "I can smell him. Forget the human. We want the princess. The boss says kill anyone who helps her. Humans are weak. This one will be easy." They laughed. The sound made Tay's blood go cold. The raiders moved past them. They were going the wrong direction. For now, Tay waited until he could not hear them anymore. Then he picked up Nira again. "We go a different way," he whispered. He walked through the stream. Water would hide their smell. He hoped. For hours, they moved through the jungle. The sun began to set. The sky turned orange and red through the gaps in the trees. Soon it would be dark. Tay did not want to think about what this jungle held at night. He found a place under a massive tree. The roots were thick and tangled, creating small spaces to hide in. Tay cleared out the leaves and bugs and made a small shelter. "We rest here tonight," he said. Nira crawled into the space. Tay followed. It was tight, but they fit. More importantly, they were hidden. Tay gave Nira some of his food, a small piece of dried meat, a few crackers. She ate slowly, watching him with those golden eyes. "Why?" she asked suddenly. "Why what? Why help me? You not know me. I am not your people." Tay thought about it. It was a good question. Why was he doing this? He could have run. He could have hidden and waited for the raiders to find the princess and leave. He could have saved himself. "Because you needed help," Tay said finally. "And I was there. That is all." Nira looked confused. "That is all? My people. We do not help strangers. We help family. We help our empire. Strangers are dangerous. Humans are different," Tay said. "Well, some humans. The good ones. We believe that helping others is right. Even strangers. Even people who are different from us. Even if you die, even then." Nira was quiet for a long time. Then she reached out and touched Tay's hand with her small fingers. "You are strange," she said. "But good strange." Tay smiled. It was the first time he had smiled since his ship crashed. Night came fast. The jungle changed. New sounds filled the darkness. Screams of animals hunting. Cries of animals dying. Things moved in the shadows. Big things. Tay held his knife tight. He did not sleep. He watched the darkness and listened. Nira slept against him. Her breathing was slow and steady. At least one of them could rest. Sometime in the middle of the night, Tay saw lights. The raiders were still searching. Their flashlights cut through the darkness like angry eyes. They were maybe 100 meters away. Tay held his breath. Nira stirred. He put his hand gently over her mouth to keep her quiet. The lights moved closer. Tay could hear the raiders talking. "She must be close. The tracker says the necklace is somewhere in this area." Tracker. The necklace had a tracker. Tay looked at the glowing jewels around Nira's neck. Of course. That was how they kept finding them. The lights came closer. 20 meters now. Tay could see the gray skin of the raiders. Could see their 4 arms holding weapons. 10 meters. 5. One of them stopped right in front of their hiding spot. Tay could see his boots, could smell his alien stink. "Nothing here," the raider said. "The signal is weak. Maybe it broke in the crash. Keep looking. The boss wants that princess dead by morning." The boots moved away. The lights faded. The raiders were gone. Tay finally breathed. When dawn came, the first thing Tay did was look at Nira's necklace. He could not remove it. It was locked with some kind of alien technology. But maybe he could block the signal. He took mud from the ground, thick, wet mud. He covered the necklace completely. He hoped it would be enough. Today we reach the mountains, Tay told Nira. High ground. Better view. Maybe we can find a place to send a signal. Call for your mother, Nira nodded. She looked tired. Her face was pale. The infection in her arm was getting worse. She needed real medicine soon. Tay picked her up. His body ached everywhere. He had not slept. He had barely eaten. His own cuts and bruises were getting bad. But he could not stop. Not yet. They moved through the jungle, toward the mountains, toward hope. Behind them, the raiders followed. Always following, always hunting. But Tay would not give up. He had made a promise. And humans kept their promises, even if it killed them. The mountains were close now. Tay could see them through the thinning trees. Gray rock rising high above the green jungle. Safety was up there. Somewhere. But Tay was not sure he could make it. His legs shook with every step. His vision blurred sometimes. He had given most of his food and water to Nira. He had not slept in 2 days. His body was failing him. Nira was worse. Her fever was high. Her wounded arm was swollen and hot. She drifted in and out of sleep on his back, sometimes talking in her own language, sometimes crying for her mother. Just a little more, Tay whispered. To her, to himself. Just a little more. The jungle ended at the base of the mountains. Tay stepped out onto rocky ground. The sun hit him full force. It was brutal. Punishing, but at least he could see clearly now. The mountain path was narrow. It went up along the edge of a cliff. On one side, rock wall. On the other side, a drop that went down forever. One wrong step meant death. Tay started climbing. His boots slipped on loose stones. His hands grabbed at rocks to keep balance. Nira held onto him tight. Her small arms locked around his neck. Do not look down, Tay told her. Just close your eyes. She did. They climbed for hours. The sun moved across the sky. Shadows grew longer. Tay's arms were shaking badly now. His fingers were bleeding from gripping sharp rocks. Then he saw it. A cave. Up ahead. A dark opening in the rock face. It was big enough to hide in. Big enough to rest in. Maybe even big enough to defend. Almost there, Tay said. Almost. A sound behind him. Energy weapons charging. Tay turned. The raiders had found them. 5 of them this time. They stood on the path below, blocking any escape back to the jungle. Their weapons were aimed at Tay and Nira. Finally, the lead raider said. He was bigger than the others. Meaner looking. A scar ran across his gray face. The little princess and her human pet. Tay put Nira down gently behind him. He stood between her and the raiders. His knife was in his hand. A small blade against energy weapons. It was almost funny. Give us the girl, the scarred raider said. And maybe we let you live, human. Tay said nothing. No? You want to die for an alien child? She is a child, Tay said. His voice was steady. That is all that matters. The raiders laughed. Humans are so strange. So weak. So foolish. Maybe, Tay said. But we do not kill children. The scarred raider's smile faded. Enough talk. Kill them both, the first raider charged. He was fast, but Tay was ready. He ducked under the swinging weapon and drove his knife into the raider's leg. The alien screamed and fell. The second raider came. Tay grabbed a loose rock and threw it hard. It hit the raider's face. He stumbled back, hands on his bleeding nose. The third and fourth came together. Tay could not dodge them both. A fist hit his chest. Another hit his head. He went down hard. Pain exploded everywhere, but he got up. He always got up. He punched one raider in the throat, kicked another in the knee. His body was screaming at him. Blood ran down his face, but he kept fighting. The scarred raider watched with cold eyes. Then he raised his weapon and fired. The energy blast hit Tay's shoulder. He felt it burn through muscle and bone. The pain was beyond anything he had known. He fell to his knees, weak. the scarred raider said. Pathetic. Humans are nothing but soft meat. Tay looked up. His vision was fading. His body was dying. But behind him, Nira was there, watching, crying. He could not fail her. With a scream that came from somewhere deep inside, Tay stood up again. The raiders stepped back in shock. What are you doing? The scarred one demanded. You should be dead. I made a promise, Tay said. Blood dripped from his mouth. Humans keep their promises. He charged. He hit the scarred raider with everything he had. They both went down. Tay's fists flew. He hit the alien again. And again. His broken shoulder screamed. His body begged him to stop, but he did not stop. The other raiders grabbed him, pulled him off. They beat him, over and over. Tay could not feel his arms anymore, could not feel his legs. The world was turning dark, but he had done enough. In the chaos, no one was watching the princess. Nira, he said with his last breath. Run. The cave. Hide. She hesitated. Tears ran down her blue face. Go, Tay begged. Please, go. She ran. Her small feet flew across the rocks. She reached the cave entrance and disappeared inside. The scarred raider pushed the bloody human aside. Get the girl. Now. 2 raiders ran toward the cave. But they stopped at the entrance. They could not see inside. It was too dark. The princess could be anywhere. Go in, the scarred one commanded. It is dark. She could have a weapon. She is a child. Valorian children are dangerous. The scarred raider made an angry sound. I will do it myself. He walked toward the cave. Then he stopped. He heard something. They all heard it. Ships, many ships, coming fast. Everyone looked up. The sky was filling with lights. Not raider ships this time. These ships were beautiful. Golden. Massive. They blocked out the sun. Valorian Warfleet, one raider whispered. The Queen. The Queen is here. The scarred raider's face went pale. Run. Run now. They ran. All of them. They ran down the mountain path like scared animals. They left their wounded behind. They left their weapons behind. They ran, and did not look back. Tay watched them go. He could not move. He was lying in his own blood. The sky was full of golden ships. Beautiful ships. She is safe, he said to no one. I kept my promise. Then he closed his eyes. He heard more sounds. Footsteps. Many of them. Voices speaking in alien tongue. Then a small voice he knew. Here. He is here. Help him. Please help him. Small hands touched his face. Nira's hands. Do not die, she begged. Please do not die. Mother can help. Mother will help. Just stay alive. Please. Tay wanted to answer. Wanted to tell her it was okay. But he had nothing left. The darkness was warm and soft. It welcomed him. The last thing he heard was Nira crying. The last thing he felt was her hand holding his. Then there was nothing. Queen Selith had not slept in 3 days. When the news came that her daughter's transport had been attacked, something inside her broke. Her child, her only child, lost somewhere in the darkness of space. She had sent every ship she had, searched every system, called in every favor. Her empire stretched across 1,000 worlds, and she used all of it to find one small girl. And now, standing on this jungle planet, watching her soldiers carry a broken human down the mountain, she finally allowed herself to breathe. Nira was alive, hurt and scared, but alive. The princess had not let go of the human's hand since they found him. The soldiers had to carry both of them together because she refused to leave his side. Mother, Nira said when Selith approached. Tears streamed down her blue face. You have to save him. Please. He saved me. He saved me from the bad people. You have to help him. Selith looked at the human. He was in terrible condition. Burns. Cuts. Broken bones. He had lost so much blood that his skin was almost gray. The queen had seen dead soldiers who looked better than this. He is human, one of her generals said quietly. They are fragile. He may already be beyond saving. No, Nira shouted. He is not dead. He is not. I can feel his heart. It is still beating. Please, mother. Please. Selith knelt beside her daughter. She brushed the silver hair from Nira's face. Tell me what happened. Tell me everything. Selith. Tell me everything. And Nira did. She told her mother about the crash. About waking up, wounded and alone. About the strange human who found her and treated her wounds. She told her about running through the jungle. About the raiders hunting them. About the human who gave her his food and water. Who carried her when she could not walk. Who covered her when the storms came. She told her about the final fight. About the human standing against 5 armed raiders with only a knife. About how they beat him and shot him and he still kept getting up. About how he used his own body to buy time for her to escape. He promised to keep me safe, Nira said. Her small voice was breaking. And he did. He kept his promise. Even when it hurt him. Even when he was dying. Mother. I have never seen anyone do something like that. Not for a stranger. Not for someone who was not their family. Selith was quiet for a long moment. She looked at the human again. At his destroyed shoulder. At his broken hands. At the countless wounds that covered his body. This small, fragile creature had fought for her daughter. Had nearly died for her daughter. Had done what trained Valorian soldiers might have failed to do. Why? Selith stood and called her chief physician. Save him. The physician bowed but looked uncertain. My queen, human medicine is different from ours. We may not. Then learn. Use every resource we have. Contact human space. Find their doctors. Do whatever you must. But save him. Yes, my queen. They took the human to the largest ship. The medical bay was the finest in the empire. Machines hummed. Doctors worked. Everything that could be done was being done. Nira refused to leave. She sat outside the medical bay, watching through the window. Selith sat with her. Tell me more about him, the queen said softly. What is his name? Tay. He said his name is Tay. And what did he tell you about himself? Nira thought about it. He said he was a cargo pilot. He moved boxes between places. He said it was simple work. Safe work. She almost smiled at that. But then bad people attacked his ship. He crashed here, just like me. A cargo pilot, Selith repeated. Not a soldier. Not a warrior. Just a man who moved boxes. He told me about humans, Nira continued. He said they help strangers. Even people who are different. Even people they do not know. He said the good humans believe it is right. And do you believe him? Nira looked at her mother with those golden eyes. Yes. I do. He could have run away. He could have hidden and let them take me. But he did not. He stayed. He fought. He almost died. She paused. He did die a little, I think. But he did not give up. Selith felt something strange in her chest. Her people, the Valorians, were old, proud, powerful. They ruled their part of the galaxy with strength and wisdom. They did not often think about other species. They did not often care, but this human had taught her daughter something that 1,000 Valorian teachers could not. He had shown her what true courage looked like. What true kindness looked like. Hours passed. Night came to the planet below. The medical team worked without stopping. Finally, the chief physician came out. He looked exhausted but relieved. He will live, he said. The damage was severe. His body will need months to heal. But humans are stubborn. His heart stopped twice. And twice it started again. As if he refused to die. Because he did refuse, Nira said quietly. He made me a promise. The physician bowed to the queen. He is sleeping now. Stable. We will move him to a recovery room. Selith nodded. I want guards outside his door at all times. He is to be given the same care as any member of the royal family. Is that understood? Also, yes, my queen. When the physician left, Selith stood. Her generals were waiting. There was much to do. The raiders who attacked her daughter needed to be found and punished. The traitor who gave them information needed to be discovered. Her empire needed her attention. But first, she had one more thing to do. Nira, go with your nurses. Rest. You need to heal too. Can I see him tomorrow? When he wakes up? Selith smiled softly. Yes, you can see him. I promise. Nira hugged her mother tight. Then she left with her nurses. Selith walked to the recovery room. The human lay in a medical bed, surrounded by machines that monitored his every breath. He looked small, fragile, broken, but he was alive. Selith sat in a chair beside his bed. She watched him breathe. In and out, slow and steady. I do not understand you, she said softly, though he could not hear her. I do not understand your kind. You are so weak, so short-lived. You build nothing that lasts. Your empires rise and fall like waves on a beach. She leaned closer. But you saved my daughter. You, a stranger with nothing to gain. You stood against warriors 3 times your size. You bled and broke and burned. And still you did not stop. She shook her head slowly. Maybe we are the ones who do not understand. Maybe strength is not about power. Maybe it is about will, about choice, about keeping promises no matter the cost. She reached out and touched his hand gently. I cannot repay this debt. Nothing I have is worth what you gave. But I will try. For the rest of your life, and for the rest of mine, I will try. She stood and walked to the door. She paused and looked back at him one more time. Sleep well, Tay. You have earned it. Then she left to deal with those who had tried to kill her child. And the galaxy would learn what happened when you threatened the Valorian royal family. Tay opened his eyes slowly. The first thing he saw was white. White ceiling. White walls. Soft light that did not hurt his eyes. He was lying in the most comfortable bed he had ever felt. Clean sheets. Soft pillows. The air smelled like flowers. For a moment, he thought he was dead. Maybe this was what came after. Then the pain came. His shoulder burned. His ribs ached. His whole body felt like it had been taken apart and put back together. He was alive. Very much alive. He is awake. Tay turned his head slowly. A small figure was running toward him. Blue skin, silver hair, golden eyes, bright with joy. Nira, Tay whispered. His voice was rough from not being used. She reached the bed and grabbed his hand with both of hers. Tears were running down her face. But she was smiling. You are awake, she said. They said you would wake up soon, but I was so scared. You were sleeping for 5 days. 5 days. 5 days? Tay tried to sit up, but his body refused. Everything hurt too much. Do not move, Nira said quickly. The doctors said you need to rest. Your body is still healing. They fixed you, but it takes time. Tay lay back down. He looked around the room. It was large. Beautiful. The furniture was made of strange metal that seemed to glow. Through a window, he could see stars. Where am I? On my mother's ship. The royal flagship. We are going home. To Valora. Nira squeezed his hand. You are safe now. Nobody will hurt you anymore. Tay closed his eyes. Safe. He had not felt safe in a very long time. The door opened. He heard footsteps. Many of them. When he opened his eyes again, the room was full of people. Alien people in fine clothes. Guards in golden armor. And at the front, a tall woman with blue skin and silver hair. She looked like Nira, but older, more powerful. Her golden eyes held the weight of worlds. Mother, Nira said, standing up straight. He is awake, the queen nodded. She walked to the bed and looked down at Tay. He felt very small under her gaze, very human. So, she said, you are the one who saved my daughter. Tay did not know what to say. I Did what I could. I... Be silent. Tay went silent. Queen Selith studied him for a long moment. Her face showed nothing. Then she did something that shocked everyone in the room. She bowed. The Queen of the Valorian Empire, ruler of 1,000 worlds, bowed to a simple human cargo pilot. "Thank you," she said. The words seemed to cost her something. "Thank you for my daughter's life." Gasps filled the room. The guards looked at each other in disbelief. In all the history of the Empire, a Valorian royal had never bowed to another species. Tay tried to speak, but his throat was tight. You do not need to thank me. I just did what was right." What was right?" Selith straightened. Her eyes were softer now. "My generals tell me about your species. They say humans are weak, short-lived, unimportant in the larger galaxy. They are not wrong," Tay said quietly. "They are completely wrong." Selith's voice was firm. "Strength is not about muscles or weapons or how long you live. Strength is about what you do when everything is against you. What you choose when choosing is hardest." She gestured at his broken body. "You had every reason to run, to hide, to save yourself. But you chose to protect a child you did not know. You fought warriors with nothing but your hands. You gave everything, your food, your water, your blood, your very life for a stranger." She shook her head slowly. "My people have ruled this sector of space for 10,000 years. In all that time, I have never seen courage like yours. I have never seen loyalty like yours. You are the strongest person I have ever met." Tay felt tears in his eyes. He blinked them away. "I will be honest with you," Selith continued. "I do not know how to repay this debt. In Valorian culture, when someone saves a royal life, we owe them everything. Our law says I must give you whatever you want. Land, titles, wealth, ships, anything." Tay looked at Nira. The little princess was smiling at him with such warmth. He remembered her small hand in his during those dark nights in the jungle. Her brave face when she was scared. Her voice begging him to live. "I do not need anything," Tay said. "Nira is safe. That is enough." Ooze. The room went silent again. Even the Queen seemed surprised. "Nothing? You want nothing?" "I was just a cargo pilot," Tay said. "I moved boxes between stations. It was simple work. Lonely work. I had no family. No one waiting for me." He paused. Those few days in the jungle, protecting Nira, running from the raiders, I felt like my life meant something. For the first time, I mattered. His voice broke a little. "You gave me that. The chance to matter. I do not need anything else." I. Nira climbed onto the bed and hugged him carefully, avoiding his wounds. "You do matter," she said. "You matter to me. You are my friend. My best friend." Queen Selith watched them. Something changed in her eyes. The coldness melted away. "You say you have no family," she said softly. "That is no longer true." Tay looked at her confused. "From this day forward, you are under the protection of the Valorian crown. You are part of our house. Not a servant. Not a subject. Family." She placed her hand over her heart. "Where you go, our protection goes. What you need, we provide. And anyone who harms you will answer to me personally." "I do not understand," Tay said. "Why would you?" "Because you taught my daughter something precious. And because you taught me something too." Selith almost smiled. "There is a human saying, is there not? That family is not about blood. It is about who stands beside you when the darkness comes." She looked at Nira, still holding on to Tay. "You stood beside her in the darkness. You did not have to. But you did. That makes you family in the truest sense." Tay felt the tears coming again. This time he did not try to stop them. "Thank you," he whispered. "Thank you." Nira held him tighter. "Does this mean you will stay? You will not leave?" I do not know where I would go, Tay admitted. Then stay with us. On Valora, you can teach me about humans, about Earth, about all the strange things your people do. She grinned. Like helping strangers for no reason. Tay laughed. It hurt his ribs, but he did not care. I would like that, he said. I would like that very much. Queen Seleth nodded in approval. She turned to leave, then stopped at the door. One more thing, she said. The raiders who attacked my daughter. They have been found. They will face Valorian justice. Her voice went cold. They will learn what it cost to threaten my family. She left. The guards followed. Soon, only Tay and Nira remained. The little princess settled beside him on the bed, careful not to hurt him. I am glad you are awake, she said softly. I was very worried. I am glad too, Tay said. I thought I was going to die on that mountain, but you did not. You kept your promise. She smiled. You humans are very good at keeping promises. Tay looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth. His home. But it did not feel like home anymore. Home was here now. With this brave little princess who had needed him. With this proud queen who had honored him. With this strange new family he had found in the most impossible way. A cargo pilot and an alien princess. It was the strangest story in the galaxy, and Tay would not change a single part of it.